across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring sport news, live analysis, expert discussion.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. Here we bring you the news, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program, in order to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. Let's go through the highlights of today's reports. In the headlines, Ogun State government moves to vacate Pagi court order. Pedestrian bridge demolition in Ikeja begins. Fire got 7-story building in Lagos. Monkeypox hits 39 cases in 33 states. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll go straight into the details of the stories.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back, and now we dive into the details for today. We are expecting analyst says the upcoming local government elections in Rivers State must hold to complement and justify the existence of the 3 tiers of government as outlined in the Constitution. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversations, a political analyst, Wisdom Lan, highlighted the importance of an active local government council in a democratic system.
Rivers people are really anticipating for the local government elections because, just like we all know, we have the 3 types of government in Nigeria, and when governance is only within the federal and state, it also reduces or maybe diminishes the real reason for the democracy that we are really practicing.
Speaking on the rescheduled date for the local government elections in River State, Land described as calculated rumor and baseless target against the grassroots development.
I can tell you authoritatively that those rumors are baseless and are also founded by the same people who never want peace, to have its way in Rivers State.
This is coming. The Electoral Commission had dismissed reports circulating on social media that it had postponed the upcoming local government council elections scheduled for October 5th, 2024. And contrary to the reports, RISEC chairman, retired Justice Adolphus Enebele, insisted that the claims are false, baseless, and unfounded. In other stories, government moved to vacate Paris court order. The presidency yesterday moved against Chinese firm Zhongshan Funcheng Industry Investment Company over the seizure of 3 presidential jets on the order of the Judicial Court of Paris, France. It also dismissed court orders against Ogun State government, which led to the seizure of the 3 presidential jets as an attempt to strip Nigeria of her assets. Consequently, both the federal and Ogun State governments are making frantic efforts to vacate the order obtained by the Chinese company on March 7, 2024 and August 12, 2024, respectively. This is with a view to secure the release of the planes obtained by Process Limited P&ID in London to secure $11 billion judgment debt from Nigeria, which the federal government eventually got vacated. On the background of the Zhongshan Funcheng case, a contract between Ogun State and Goshang to manage a free trade zone was executed in 2007, but the parties entered into a dispute in 2015 and arbitration began in 2016. By 2019, it was learned that the arbitration hearing had been concluded as the arbitration was $60 million against the federal government of Nigeria, when all Zhongshan had done was building a perimeter fence around the free trade zone. Based on legal advice, Ogun State government was said to have resolved to resist enforcement of the award. It was also gathered that the resistance was successful in 8 different jurisdictions as there are pending appeals against recognition orders issued in the UK. And also engaged Zhongshan in settlement discussions on reasonable terms. The last meeting, which held in September 2023 in London, lasted for 3 days and was attended by several officials of Ogun State, including Governor Dapo Abiodun and the Attorney General Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi. Zhongshan's initial reasonable readiness to consider Ogun State's offer was surprisingly reversed by the second day when it insisted on government paying the full arbitration debt. It was learned that this led to a breakdown of the mediation with parties agreeing to meet again in the first quarter of this year. Since then, Zhongshan, correspondents learned, had been evasive and instead embarked on a series of enforcement proceedings, which the legal team appointed by the federal government of Nigeria and Ogun State successfully opposed. In cases similar to the present one where Zhongshan obtained set aside the orders, it was learned. Ogun State had not given up on reasonable settlement option, with the most being recent, a letter sent to Zhongshan last week. Zhongshan, it was gathered, also responded after obtaining its latest illegal order, claiming that the federal government was never served any notice of the two cases in the Judicial Court of Paris, which gave orders on March 7th, 2024 and August 12th, 2024, respectively. It is working with Ogun State to discharge what it decried as a frivolous order against the Special Advisor of the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who disclosed this in a statement yesterday, said the presidency is aware of the various failed attempts by the Chinese company Zhongshan Fucheng Industrial Investment Co. Limited to take over offshore assets of the federal government of Nigeria through subterfuge. The government on Thursday faulted the judicial process that led to the provisional attachment of the three Nigerian government-owned aircraft in France by the Judicial Court of Paris on March 7 and August 2, 2024. The federal government is not under any contractual obligation with the company. The case in which Zhongshan is trying to use every unorthodox means to strip our offshore defenses and assets is between the company and Ogun State government. The federal government is aware of efforts being made by the Ogun State government to reach an amicable resolution to the matter. It must be said without any equivocation that Zhongshan has no solid ground to demand restitution from Ogun State government based on facts regarding the 2007 contract between the company and the state government to manage a free trade zone. When the contract with the Ogun State government was revoked in 2015, the company had only erected a perimeter fence on the land earmarked for a free trade zone, while the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice are working with the Ogun State government on an amicable resolution. Zhongshan obtained two orders from the Judicial Court of Paris dated March 7, 2024 and August 12, without any notice being duly served on the federal government of Nigeria and Ogun State. This arm-twisting tactic by the Chinese company is the latest in a long list of failed moves to attach Nigerian government-owned assets to foreign jurisdictions. Material facts in the transaction between Ogun State government and Zhongshan point to another P&ID case in which unscrupulous and questionable individuals falsely present themselves as investors with the sole objective of cheating and scamming governments in Africa. Undoubtedly, Zhongshan withheld vital information and misled the Judicial Court in Paris into attaching the Nigerian government's presidential jets, which are on routine maintenance in France. The use and nature of the presidential jets as assets of a sovereign entity whose assets are protected by diplomatic immunity forbid any foreign court from issuing or ordering against them. We are convinced the Chinese company misled the Judicial Court of Paris regarding the use of Do not forget we are open for advert placements, bookings and commercials. And And you can connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly known as Twitter, atlantictv.net. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. On to the rest of the stories. The Lagos State government has announced plans to divert traffic at Ikeja along bus stop between Ile-Zik and Konoil Station. Konoil Petrol Station on the Oshodi-bound lane from Saturday, August 17th to Sunday, August 18th, 2024, between the hours of 12 midnight and 4 a.m. daily. The diversion is to allow for seamless and safe demolition of the old pedestrian bridge, consequently from the Ile-Zik bus stop up to Konoil Petrol Filling Station on the Oshodi-bound side of the road. Only one lane will be available to motorists to ensure safety. The Commissioner for Transportation, Mr. Oluwaseun Osiemi, explained that the traffic diversion would not affect motorists on the Dopemu Abule-Egba bound road off the road during the course of the demolition, adding that the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASTMA, will be on ground to manage vehicular movements and minimize inconveniences. Osiemi called for the cooperation of the motoring public, adding that the lanes will be cordoned off with jersey barriers and protective nets to keep motorists and commuters safe during the period of the demolition. The Commissioner urged motorists to be patient as the closure is part of the traffic management plans for the safe removal of old pedestrian bridge by the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA. In Bayelsa State, the federal government has intensified monitoring and screening procedures at all entry points into the country in response to the monkeypox outbreak. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Pate, disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, signed by his Special Advisor on Media and External Relations, Tashal Mahala. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention on Thursday reported 39 confirmed cases of monkeypox, but no deaths across 33 states and the Federal Capital Territory from the beginning of 2024. It said, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Pate, emphasized that the country has intensified monitoring and screening procedures at all entry points in response to the threat of monkeypox clad 1. The Thursday statement quoted the minister as noting the NCDC and the Nigerian Ports Health Services under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare had been taking steps to fortify Nigeria's defenses before the declaration of monkeypox as a public health emergency. This monkeypox clad 1 strain has caused fatalities in up to 10% of individuals who have fallen ill in previous outbreaks. He added that the aim is to tackle and mitigate its impact by deploying measures similar to those used during the COVID-19 pandemic, Pate noted. He further explained that the government had implemented a new mandate requiring all travelers to complete an online health declaration form before departing from the country. This measure is being introduced alongside the activation of infectious disease centers in all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, he added. The minister also advised the public to practice good hygiene, frequent hand washing with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, especially after contact with an infected person or animal. The African Center for Disease Control had on Tuesday declared a public health emergency over the growing monkeypox outbreak on the continent. The outbreak had swept through several African countries, particularly the Democratic Republic of Congo. There is a serious outbreak growing in the DCR that has now expanded outside the country. A new virus strain, which first emerged in September 2023, has for the first time been detected outside DRC. The World Health Organization stressed that the emergence last year and rapid spread of the new virus strain in DRC, clade 1b, which appears to be spreading mainly through sexual networks, and its detection in countries neighboring the DRC are especially concerning. And one of the main reasons for the declaration of the PHEIC, so far about 2,863 confirmed monkeypox cases and 517 deaths across 13 African countries have been reported in 2024 alone. Monkeypox is a rare viral zoonotic infectious disease, which is a disease of animals transmitted from animals to humans. This is endemic in several African countries, including the tropical rainforest of Central Africa and West Africa. The exact reservoir of the virus is still unknown, although rodents, squirrels, and monkeys are suspected to play a part in transmission. Meanwhile, the Rivers State government on Thursday presented 46 motorcycles to tuberculosis supervisors and their deputies in the 23 local councils of the state in order to speed up the tracking and treatment of the notorious infection. The state said the gesture was in collaboration with its partners, including the Federal Ministry of Health. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Adeze Ore, which presented the motorcycles to the health officials in Port Harcourt on Thursday, said it was to enable them to reach the hard-to-reach areas of the state, ultimately free the state from tuberculosis. She stated, "Tuberculosis is one of the most notorious infections that have been ravaging countries across the world, especially low and middle-income countries such as Nigeria. In partnership with the Federal Ministry of Health, the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Control Program, with immense support from the Global Fund, we are here gathered with these 46 motorcycles, which will be supported for the 23 local government areas, TB supervisors, and other deputies. We know that at the forefront of tackling these deadly infectious diseases is actively community surveillance. And these motorcycles will enable the TB supervisors and deputies to go into the nook and crannies of our communities to identify those who may be infected and put them to the treatment that they need," the health commissioner said. Analysts have sympathized with the recent flood victims in Bauchi State and also faulted the state government for insensitivity to critical issues despite warnings of pending floods from the Meteorological Agency. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Blowout, a political analyst, Mufasa Ehimosan, blamed the ugly incident on government's inability to be proactive in tackling the issues of flood in Bauchi State.
Reactive instead of being proactive. I know countless number of times that we've experienced flooding in some parts of this country. The Meteorological Agency of Nigeria, most times they've put this information out even months before these things happen. But this is not
ATM recalled that the Bauchi State Emergency Management Agency has confirmed the death of 4 persons as flood persisted in some communities in the state. Moving on, the Commander Training and Doctrine Command Nigerian Army Tradnoc NA Major General Kevin Aligbe has reiterated zero tolerance for examination malpractices in the ongoing 2024 Senior Staff Corps Course Qualifying Exam, holding at the Headquarters Infantry Corps Center, Jaji Military Cantonment, Jaji, Kaduna State. Major General Aligbe, also the examination president, gave the warning in his address to the 2024 Senior Staff Course Qualifying Examination candidates at the Ihejirika Auditorium, Jaji. He urged the candidates to shun any form of examination malpractice, pointing out that the consequences of such offenses attracted heavy sanctions capable of altering their career progression in the service. The examination president told the candidates to take maximum advantage of the golden opportunity at their disposal, as the examination is a major prerequisite for them to attend the senior staff course of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, or any subscribed staff colleges overseas. Major General Aligbe emphasized that it is important that they put in the seriousness and determination that will produce the best results. He said, "The examination is not only about writing a test, it is also an assessment of their present level of proficiency that will determine their capabilities to undertake higher responsibilities," he said. Reminding the candidates that they are on crucial assignments and their conduct during the examination could make or mar their career, Aligbe said the examination is in tandem with the command philosophy of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, which is to transform the Nigerian Army into a well-trained, equipped, and highly motivated force towards achieving its constitutional responsibilities in a joint environment. In his welcome address, the commander of the Infantry Corps Center, Major General Olufemi Oluyede, urged the candidates to put in their best and maintain decorum and discipline to succeed in the examination. Major General Oluyede stated that the importance of the examination cannot be overemphasized, as it is aimed at elevating the candidates to the middle-level cadre in the Nigerian Army. He reminded them of the need to abide by the rules of the examination and the requirement to maintain the highest level of integrity and discipline expected of gentlemen officers. The Commander Infantry Corps Center thanked the Chief of Army Staff for allowing the HQ ICC to host the exercise and assured the examination president as well as his management team of the unalloyed commitment of the officers and soldiers of the center. The event was attended by Commander General Defense Academy NDA Major General John Ochai, the Chief of Defense Services and Programs Army Major General Henry Wesley, and General Officer Commanding Division 1 Nigerian Army Major General Mayirenso Saraso. Others included the Deputy General of Training Major General Olusegun Abai, the Chief of Training Tradnock Nigerian Army Major General Peter Okoye, representatives of Army Headquarters, the Nigerian Army Heritage Center, as well as observers from Nigerian Headquarters and Army Headquarters and principal staff officers from Headquarters ICC Tradnock and the Nigerian Army. The address of the examination president to the members of the examination panel, directing staff and candidates, was followed by the tree planting ceremony held at the Infantry Conservation Center, Jaji, where the Chief of Special Services and Programs, Army, Major General Henry Wesley, was the special guest of honor. It was to be recalled that the examination president of the 2024 Senior Staff Course Qualifying Examination, Major General Kevin Aligbe, established the Infantry Conservation Education Center in February 2020 when he served as the commandant of the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, Jaji. The Niger State government has warned illegal oil miners to quit now or face the wrath of the government. The tragic reality of many men and women and children who were excavating a rocky dune of gold good. But the illegal miners are not perturbed by this, as they daringly set out each day in their quest to line their pockets with the illicit cash that flows from the gold mines. On a daily basis, one finds miners and adults scouring the earth in search of gold, lithium, and expensive minerals, which they greedily sell to earn a living. More worrisome is the involvement of pregnant women and juveniles, male and female, in the illegal business. Many of these youths, who can hardly differentiate between a stone and a piece of gold, are nevertheless deeply involved in the illegal business and have since abandoned schools in order to make quick bucks from the gold rush. Even though they do not know anything about the process of mining, the more unfortunate thing about this is that these miners are being paid a pittance by some local and international merchants to scan the soil for minerals, with many of them dying painfully in the process. Sadly, the situation for these workers who have been more or less turned into slaves is that most of them toil endlessly for days and go back home without any money. but they seem not to be bothered by the agony they pass through daily, as they are given some form of token by those who use them to seek a fortune from the mining pits. They seem to be more motivated by the common maxim that tomorrow will be better, even if it takes 1 or 2 weeks before they eventually smile home with a token. For instance, on June 5th this year, no fewer than 50 persons reportedly lost their lives when a mining pit suddenly collapsed and killed people excavating for minerals at Galdami, Kogi in Niger State. You are watching Government and Public Service reports on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. A fire outbreak occurred in the early hours of today which is Friday, at a 7-story building in Sami Adewale Street, Lagos Island of the local government area. This is made known in a statement by the Director of Lagos State Fire Service and Rescue, Margaret Adeseye, on X.com. Adeseye said the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service received the distress call at about 5:17 a.m. and promptly responded with firefighters from Ebute, Elefun, Sari and Lekki first stations, arriving at the scene by 5:33 hours. Adeseye confirmed that the situation is under control and no casualties have been reported. Preliminary investigations suggested that the fire was triggered by an electrical surge. The statement said, on August 16, 2024, at 5:17 hours, the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service received a distress call regarding a fire outbreak at Sani Adewale Street, located in the Lagos Island local government area. The fire affected several shops within a 7-story building. Firefighters from the Ebute, Elefun, Sari and Lekki 1 stations promptly responded, arriving at the scene by 5:33. Thanks to the swift actions of the Lagos State firefighters, the situation is now under control. Ventilating efforts are currently ongoing in the area, ensuring the safety of all. Preliminary investigations suggested the fire was triggered by an electrical surge, as said before. Fortunately, no casualties have been reported. In a statement by the advisor to the governor on media and strategy, Kayode Akimade, Ogun State government described the latest development with Zhongcheng in previous reports as the new antics by the Chinese company to appropriate Nigerian assets in foreign jurisdictions, as past efforts had continually failed. The statement described the legal process as nothing but a total charade and fraudulent notion, adding that the company deliberately concealed the litigation from both the Nigerian government and Ogun State, as well as their legal counsel, before hurriedly securing orders of seizure. It added that the company must have misled the Judicial Court of Paris as to the use and nature of the assets it sought to attach and not made full disclosure to the court as required by law. According to the statement, Ogun State, alongside the federal government, had already taken immediate action to ensure that those provisional attachments are lifted quickly, even as it accused the company of reneging on earlier discussions for an amicable resolution of the case. The state government has likened the case to that of P&ID, describing it as unfortunate cases of unscrupulous individuals masquerading as foreign investors with the sole aim of defrauding Ogun State and Nigeria at large. Reacting to the development yesterday, the presidential candidate of Labour Party in 2023 elections, Mr. Peter Obi, described the seizure of the aircraft in Nigeria's presidential air fleet as an international embarrassment. Mr. Peter Obi said the development has exposed Nigerians' failed leadership and poor attitude to the rule of law in a democracy. He said, the trending international news in the seizure of 3 jets belonging to Nigeria's presidential fleet is yet another of many embarrassing things exposing our failed leadership and our attitude to the rule of law, even in democracy. It has also selling of this aircraft. It has been done in secrecy Federal government property which belongs to the people is being managed as a personal family asset, paying as much as $100 million for a presidential jet for a country that is the poverty capital of the world and has more out-of-school children with over 40% food inflation is the height of concern for the people's feelings. This incident also opened up an aspect of indiscipline that is copiously embedded in our country, which is the abuse and disrespect of the rule of law. Here are questions begging for answers. To what extent did Ogun state government follow its agreement with the Chinese firm after the UK court ruling that prohibited some Nigerian buildings in Liverpool? What did both the Ogun state and federal governments do before the French court action? I would like to therefore challenge the federal government to come clean and transparent on this matter and tell Nigerians how we got to this latest international mess. The EFCC, the executive chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Jalal Arabi, and the Commission Secretary Abdullahi Kontagora are currently in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over the alleged mismanagement of 90 billion naira 2024 Hajj subsidy. The EFCC said from the 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy, Arabi fraudulently overpaid himself and others the necessary operational costs, while the commissioners, secretaries and directors and chief of staff in the 2024 budget are stipulated as $4,250, $12,750, as well as $3,825 and $15,300 respectively. The anti-graft agency had first grilled Arabi for hours on July 29 and released him on bail, while other top officials of the Hajj Commission were arrested by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission over alleged mismanagement or diversion of the 90 billion subsidy. And the NACON chairman was taken in again on Wednesday for questioning and was detained. A document revealed that some cash withdrawal of about 90 billion released by the federal government to the commission is yet to be accounted for by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. And this is where we wrap it up on this edition of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network in the city of Port Harcourt. I am King David Obasi, thanking you for staying tuned. Stay connected to us on our socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, and TikTok with Instagram, Atlantic TV Network, X formerly known as Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, Atlantic Network TV. Community are the ways to progress. Thank you for watching.